Well, my flavor is strawberry.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Welcome to Dungeon Brew.
All right, here we go. We are back into the Ninth Ascension. It is episode 2. Our heroes, if we can call them such things, have traveled outside of the city of 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐤, seeking out a 𝐦𝐤 encampment at the crossroads. They have just killed off a few of them that were standing guard outside the cave, from which Mihail went and checked on his voivodes, who are also scouting the area. One had already engaged in combat with some of the shapeshifters from the north, and were victorious in that. And now the party is standing here, licking the couple of wounds that they have before entering this cave in the side of the rock. There's some water that is trickling into it, just barely into the area. And you guys understand that there is potentially an underwater, what's what I'm looking for here, an underwater pass where the 𝐦𝐤 may be sneaking in and bringing in supplies before attacking 𝐤𝐤𝐤 in the days to come. So I'm going to turn it over to you. Before you enter the cave, you guys are standing outside. What does the party want to do?
𝐤𝐤𝐤's going to go ahead and retrieve those bolts, and then he will pull another bolt from his quiver and lock it into the crossbow, and just kind of prepped, looking, keep an eye out while everybody kind of takes stock of what they have.
Yeah, very good. I know that you guys had done some checks in our prior game. You know that there is quite a bit of footprints moving in and out of the cave, so you're expecting to be some enemies within. You just don't know the exact number. I believe that 𝐸'Demir had done a check, and he was like, there's so many footprints here, and with them being able to turn into birds and fly in and out, I can't tell you what we're going to expect inside.
𝐸'Demir did cut off one of the heads of the people, and he is taking it in. So basically, when combat starts, he's going to chuck one at him.
in pure Ispolini fashion. That is excellent, 𝐸'Demir.
Well, gentlemen, shall we see what the cave is about?
Is the giant leading the way?
Yeah. Head's not getting any fresher.
All right, so the party ventures forth. Looks like we have 𝐸'Demir in the front. I'm guessing that Sir Mihail is walking in with him at the front of the party, with 𝐸'Khan and Dawn at the back. You guys are going to come into a cavern that is deeper than you imagine, immediately coming into just a slight slant downhill, then opening up into this large space. Ceiling from you traveling down the path is going to start moving upwards into about 10-15 feet high, and as you continue to follow kind of this water trail that's trickling down, you will see that indeed there is an underground river that is traveling through here from the sea up northwards. The cavern is large. You're to come into an immediate area with stalactites and stalagmites on either side of the cavern. The water is flushing through. There are a few lit torches, and ahead of you, you see what seems to be a natural rock bridge that is stretching across the expanse. So as you continue to come into this opening, you get about 20-foot space ahead of you with a rock bridge that's 20 foot wide that stretches almost another probably 40-50 feet across, with the water down below, maybe only about 10 feet or so below the bridge, if that, maybe even be closer to 5 to 7. You guys again are going to come in. You will immediately see a skin switcher standing almost around the middle of the bridge with a wolf at their side, and they're going to immediately turn and take notice of you coming into the cavern. So we can roll initiative.
What does the light situation look like in here?
There's some light actually shining back from the way that you came.
Sure.
Lighting up the English from where you're coming in. There are a few torches that are lit throughout.
Okay.
So there are a few torches that are lit throughout that are kind of giving a glow. But you all are aware that 𝐦𝐤 can see in the dark. They don't even need the lights necessarily. It appears like as though they just kind of lit these up for warmth and to kind of just maneuver around throughout the space. Yep, the 𝐸𝐤𝐤 is in there first. The 𝐸𝐤𝐤 is actually not going to take any action towards you. It is going to shout out that there are intruders coming into the cave. So he says, "The Reds have come! They're coming to the cave! Everyone at arms!" And then with that, it'll be 𝐸𝐶𝐭.
Aye, dumb fools. All right. And then 𝐸𝐶𝐭's going to move. He's going to step about 15 feet directly to his left here. And then he is going to, with that crossbow bolt that was already knocked and ready, he's going to aim at the 𝐸𝐤𝐤 that is just finished shouting, and try and hit him with a bolt and shut him up.
Nice.
So he's going to shoot that.
Oh, with a critical failure.
Yeah,
So you shoot it, and it goes flying off into the dark to the other side of the ravine.
Eyes are still adjusting.
All right, that is going to put up the wolf that is standing at its side. And this thing can move. It immediately comes flying forward, straight at Erdmir. No holds on it whatsoever, and tries to bite him. Erdmir, that is a miss with an 11. So it comes charging across, leaps for your leg, and you're just able to move your leg back, and it gnashes at the air. You're able to retaliate. You're up next.
All right. Erdmir is going to try and mix things up here. He is just going to drop the head he was going to throw, and he'll just swing his axe. And so here comes his swing right at the axe, trying to chop off its head if he can.
Oh, with a 20, you definitely hit it. Roll me some damage. Yeah, you cleave it right into the wolf's back, killing it on the spot. Just absolutely murder it. And of course, as it dies, the skin and the fur shred away, and a middle-aged woman is laying in its stead as it transforms back into the 𝐸𝐤𝐤. All right, to you guys' shock, off the wall comes a spider that was laying there in wait and moves up on Dawn for a bite attack.
On Dawn?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mihail. Man, I apologize. I had to put up my glasses so I could see, and I'm still not seeing anything. All right, spider comes down off the wall, comes up and attacks Mihail with a bite and misses. And following right behind that is another one who comes up on 𝐸𝐶𝐭 from the other side of the cave where he was standing with his crossbow. And 𝐸𝐶𝐭, that is a hit.
That is.
Oh no.
Yeah, with a 20, it is going to do just a little bit of damage, but I'm going to need a con save from you. It does 1 point of damage. I'm going to need a con save. All right, and with a 10, that is a failure. Nothing occurs right now, but that poison is seeping into your veins. Dawn, you are up.
All right. So as much as I would like to go and help 𝐸𝐶𝐭, he got a little bit too far away from me for being able to close the distance and do anything. So I'm going to step next to Mihail beside that spider, and I'm going to go ahead and attack it with my wolf spear, attempting to pin it to the ground.
Ooh, critical!
All
Full
right.
screen shakes.
This gonna be a spider kebab?
Yeah. There we go.
It is a spider kebab. He just slams that thing right through it, murders it on the spot. And again, as you pull your spear up, you see this transfer back into a young male off the end of your spear, and the weight of the humanoid form just falls off of that spear. And that is going to put up Sir Mihail.
I'm going to move to my left to support 𝐸𝐶𝐭, and I'm going to take my gladius and attempt to stab this spider.
Oh, that spider is dexterous as shit. It dives out of the way, and you miss it. Yeah, the 3 does not hit. We are back at the top of the round, and the spider is first to respond. Again, pulling a bite back. He's going to bite at 𝐸𝐤𝐤 this time. And that is going to be a hit, Mr. Caligula. So I'm going to need a con save from you. It does 1 point of damage, and with a failed con save, you too can feel the poison
good
starting
tonight.
We're good with
into your
this.
veins. All right, 𝐸𝐤𝐤, you are now up again.
I'm going to dance around these stalagmites to flank this spider with 𝐸𝐤𝐤.
Okay, yeah, those stalagmites are pretty tall on either end, but you're able to maneuver your way around to get that +2 advantage by standing on its backside.
Alright, and we will stab at it again.
That is a hit with an 11.
Excellent.
Or, I'm sorry, 14. That's a hit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely murder it. So yeah, you bring your weapon down on top of it, and it dies.
Alright, and am I able to move after attacking, or is it half movement to have an action?
You can only move and then attack. You won't be able to move again.
Okay, that's fine.
All right.
Alright, so after that's dead,
Mm-hmm.
I want to look at the Vicari across the way and tell him that he's next.
Okay. 𝐸𝐤𝐤.
𝐸𝐤𝐤 is going to just reach down, grab that head that he dropped earlier, move up here, and chuck it and do an intimidation
Oh, yeah.
to this guy over here.
Yeah, I was with Mihail's words, and you chucking a head at it.
I will also say that 𝐸𝐤𝐤's a little confused because he was told to leave the last one alive, and now we're saying he's next. He's really confused by these commands.
There's more people in the cave. We don't need this one.
So he chucks that head to try to intimidate him, and
Yeah, so you are able to intimidate him with your con check of a 17, which means that he will have -2 on all of his rolls that occur. Anything else, 𝐸𝐤𝐤?
and he's just gonna stay right there.
All right, so you moved about half the distance, closing it between him. 𝐸𝐤𝐤, you are up. The spider in front of you is dead.
𝐸𝐤𝐤's real quick going to go ahead and nod to 𝐸𝐤𝐤, notch another crossbow, and he's going to move probably about 15, 20 feet. He's going to get to his right. He's going to get directly up behind 𝐸𝐤𝐤, so he has a cleared line of shot on that Vicari.
Mm-hmm.
That's, 30 feet in front of him, something like that, 35. And he is going to shoot him again.
That
There
is
we
a
are.
hit.
Nice.
Oh man, the bolt goes right through him, direct hit into the chest, and kills the Vicari. Now that poison is still seeping through your veins
Correct.
here, 𝐸𝐤𝐤. So with that, you are going to take another 2 points of damage, and you will be taking 2 points of strength loss for the next 1 hour.
Okay.
You have to reduce your strength down.
𝐸𝐤𝐤 being 𝐸𝐤𝐤 and what he's supposed to be doing, and give him a 𝐸𝐤𝐤 station. He will come over to 𝐸𝐤𝐤.
We're not
After
out
he
of
le-
rounds yet, sir.
Apologies.
I
Go for
appreciate your enthusiasm, but you're not out of rounds yet.
Go for it.
All right, Don, you are up.
Well, Dawn, just learning that we're still in rounds. And seeing no combatants on the battlefield. Is there a check that I can do, or is there anything I can do to determine the effects of that poison from, well, I guess am I aware that the spiders are poisonous?
You can roll an intelligence check for it, see if you know. This should be your
Intelligence
primary,
check,
so you only need a 12. Yeah, that would do it. So yes, you do know these spiders are poisonous.
Do I know anything about the poison?
Absolutely. With an 18, you recognize that it's just it's a slow poison that essentially just reduces strength for a particular period of time, depending on the potency that came out of their veins or out of their fangs when they do the bite. So it's just a one-time effect that comes the following.
So I'm not concerned that they'll die if it goes untreated.
No, it's just a 2 round effect.
Okay. All right. So given that, I'm going to go ahead and step forward in line with Eretmir, just to kind of hold the line. Since I don't see any threats at the moment, that's where I will end. Just kind of watching over the bridge.
So that you will see a shark come leaping out of the water, springing from it, and as it comes down onto the surface, it actually turns into Vucari in front of you. Yeah, so this shark comes leaping out of the water, lands on top of the ground in front of you guys, and that will be all that it does for this time. Oh, I'm sorry, it'll take a step back. I'm begging you to move forward, and we will be into the next round with Eretmir at the top.
All right.
Are you going to take his invitation?
Oh, yeah. Eretmir is going to move up, and as he does, he's going to reach down to his belt, pull out one of his throwing axes, and chuck a throwing axe at the Vucari across from him.
Very nice. So you're holding your big axe back in one hand, pulling out the throwing axe.
Ah, I missed.
And it does miss with a 10. He dodges right out of the way of the axe that's flying towards you. And after him comes another shark from the other side, but this one is going to try to bite you, Eretmir, and take you off the other side of the edge. So it leaps out of the water, coming by with a bite attack. And it misses. I'm going to give you an opportunity here, Eretmir, if you want to have a reaction as it comes flying by you and misses.
With his free hands as he threw the axe, he's just going to smack this thing just punch it.
Excellent. Roll me an attack roll. A critical!
Oh, God.
That shark comes out to bite you in the air, and you just pound it straight in the head, nailing it, smashing it into the ground, immediately killing this thing and knocking it out of its form. It doesn't even have a chance to react to it, and before you know it, you have another dead Vucari at your feet. So well done. Well done. Don.
This guy's sweating yet?
All right, so
This final male Vucari is standing here in the nude after transforming from a shark in front of you.
I am going to mimic Eretmir's movement and step forward a ways, pulling a dagger from my belt and throwing it. Oh. All right. Well, it looks like my dagger joined his axe somewhere out in the darkness. They're happy together.
Yeah, with a 10, that dagger goes flying right on by him, too. 𝐸, you are up. And before you move forward, I want to make sure we get these poison rolls off on you, because you still have to have it do its final job. So the final ride on the poison is going to do 2 damage to you, as well as reducing your strength by 2.
For how long?
Oh, good question. It is going to last for 9 hours.
Oh, God.
The luck with your rolls just keeps on coming, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does. I don't like spiders anymore. Alright, so
I never did.
I'm going to double move. Actually, no. I'm going to do a single move to come up near 𝐸 and see how he's doing after the poison. Because the poison hit me like a truck. So, I'll move over here. 𝐸, are you okay? That spider's poison hit me pretty rough.
Hey, Olive. You look a little worse for wear, my friend.
Yeah, the spider got the better of me. I wasn't expecting it to be so strong.
And Don, of course, is if you overhear this conversation behind you, you know that these spiders get much bigger and are much deadlier than what you have faced in this moment.
Yeah, I won't say anything. I'm not going to ruin the fun for them quite yet.
All right, so the Vucari that remains is up. He is going to advance forward and with both hands bring them down on top of Eretmir. his hands are going to turn into bear claws as he is swiping down at you. And with a critical hit,
What is with the criticals tonight?
That's a lot of
hits
criticals.
you so hard, Erdmir. Oh! So this Vucari comes up on you, Erdmir, bringing up both claws for a slam attack. Its two arms turn into bear claws and rolls a critical, doing 6 damage. Just completely smashing right across your chest with those claws and cutting you open. And that is going to put up 𝐸.
Yeah, alright. He's going to see kind of what just transpired there in front of him. And he will knock another bolt and attempt to put down this Vucari.
That is a successful hit with a 15.
Yeesh.
But not enough damage.
Yeah.
The bolt hits him in the leg, but he is still standing. And then he is at the beginning of the round as you guys continue, coming down with another slam attack against the giant that is standing before him with another hit. Just shredding him with those claws. Another 2 damage. Eretmir, you have a chance to respond.
Erdmir plans to respond. I mean, he works really hard on his chest hair, and having the claws ripped through there has really pissed him off. So he is swinging his bearded axe, and there will not be let him live. But I missed, so...
Oh, you missed. That the pain is too great for you to see it through. 𝐸, you're standing in the back having a conversation with the healer.
All right.
I think it sounds so bad.
Well, as your giant's up there getting torn to shreds.
You know, I really expected the giant to hold his own a bit better, you know, one-on-one with
Wow.
Eretmir's just up there staring at his decimated nipples.
All right.
While you're back there with the spider poison that's killing you. You know,
I will move up and slide between Dawn and Eretmir. And I will try and take a stab at this Vucari with my Gladius.
Yeah, bringing up your weapon, you come down hard, hitting him with a 15. And despite your enthusiasm, he is still standing. 𝐸,
Die, you bastard.
firing in between all of your allies standing in front of you with an 11. You're being a little too cautious. You hit none of them, but you don't hit the enemy either. Dawn, are you able to clean this up?
God, I hope so. All right. I'm going to move. I don't have quite enough movement to be able to flank, but I do get to his rear there a little bit.
That's a +1.
I am going to go ahead and attempt to stab him in the kidney with my wolf spear. Nope.
And that 2 is a miss.
Wow.
With a 13. He is holding his own. Dawn, you get another chance.
Any chance we could like hire
Step
this
over
guy?
a little bit more.
Very skilled.
So that I'm at his back, flanking with Eretmir, and I will attempt again to stab him with the wolf spear, aiming for his spine. Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
With a 21, you found his weak spot.
His spine.
His spine.
That makes sense.
who would have thought of that?
You run him right through, killing him on the spot. And at that point, all the Vucari that have gathered in the cave are dead. None left to question. As you guys stand there, quite a bit of writhing pain.
All right, who's ready to go fight a dragon?
I'm always
good.
ready.
I'm feeling really good right now.
I'm gonna count up behind 𝐸 and 8-meter. Dawn, since you seem to be the only one who escaped any injury, keep watch. Give me 10 minutes. I need to see what I can do about this. And 𝐸 will then attempt to cast a healing spell, and he's going to place both his hands on Edmir and 𝐸, and just kind of focus his energy and attempt to heal them both as best he can.
Okay, so you're splitting a spell between the two of them.
I'm gonna split my cure light wounds. Yeah.
Okay. So you're gonna get 3 to one and 4 to the other for healing.
All right.
That is much appreciated, 𝐸𝐶𝐿. I feel much better.
Yeah, Mihail's wound specifically, with the spider bite and the damage it does, heals him up. Now the strength, of course, is not not brought back from that.
Sure.
But your wounds completely heal from the healing that 𝐸𝐶𝐿 offers. As for 𝐿𝐼𝐼, I mean, you're pretty bloodied, so you have the bleeding at least has stopped, and some of the wounds starting to look repaired, but you're hurting bad.
𝐿𝐼𝐼, try and remember this, would you, my friend? And I'm gonna use 2 more mana, and I'm gonna use a full cure wounds on 𝐿𝐼𝐼. He's kind of our front liner here, so I'm gonna attempt to give him a full D8. Yep, that figures.
Yeah, so
Another 4 life.
You feel that mana draining out of you. Your hair is starting to just gray, just slightly, as you start to just continuously cast magic into him, trying to heal him, feeling the effects of using 𝐾𝐨 through your body, and you just don't see those wounds healing as well as you would like them to.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I've fought with worse.
It's the best I could do at the moment. I apologize.
Yeah, he's just going to come up here, and he's just going to kind of lay in the water and kind of just wash off the blood and enjoy the fresh water.
Yeah, move along down the cave a little bit, find a nice little pool of water that is sitting, and just
there's a stream here. I'm just going to the stream to. And then he's going to proceed to start cutting off heads.
So, 𝐿𝐼𝐼, I notice you have rather impressive chest hair. Is this part of the ablutions that you usually go through? I know that you put some work into it.
Yes, you always got to keep working on it. It's at least once a day process as you wake up in the morning to make sure it's the right fluffiness and everything else.
Fresh spring water, then.
Yeah.
Anything else? The blood of your enemies, obviously.
No, that goes on first, then you use the water to freshen it up.
I'll have to keep that in mind. Alright, so Dawn is going to take a moment to kind of follow 𝐿𝐼𝐼 around and check the bodies to get any clues as to what it is they're doing here, or why they've come through this area, or anything else along those lines. See if he finds anything of use. Would you like a roll, or?
No, you're good. So you're able to, look over the bodies. Most of them don't have much on them because they were transforming back and forth from different monstrosities or creatures in the area. But you do notice several longboats that are off to the side in the water that are tied off to a makeshift dock on the rocks with the ropes tied up around these small boulders. And off to the side of the cave, there is a narrow pathway that leads down to those boats, and you can see that not only in the boats but also on the ledge are a variety of different provisions that have been collected and brought in here as though they're stocking up to potentially make this a place of fortification before attacking 𝐿𝐼𝐼. And you can see quite a bit of provisions that are down there. You'd have to go down and dig through them to see what all they have.
Would you all like to look through that, or would you like me to? Just need to make sure somebody's keeping an eye out in case any more come along.
I'll watch up here.
I was gonna say I can watch. I'm just taking the heads and I'm gonna put them on the stalagmites.
All right. So Dawn will go through and begin digging through to see what's down there.
All right. Digging through this, John, there's going to be a number of different things of interest to you. Not only do they have items like bandages, which can heal 2 wounds per day, and utilizing those, but there's also what is called herb patches that allow you to heal 1 HP a day, but it allows you to heal double the amount for the next 3 days. So typically you would heal 1 HP per day. This gives you 1 HP for the first day and then 2 HP for the next 3 days afterwards to apply this herb patch. You also find things like a fishing net, fishing gear. There's spiked boots to help with climbing. There's small belt pouches. There's some hemp rope. There's a shovel. There's some tarps and tobacco and vellum and water skins and wine. a number of different things I've now moved over into your party inventory for you guys to check out.
Okay. I don't know that we'll be able to carry all of that initially. Probably 𝐿𝐴𝐴𝐿 could, but at the very least I'll bring back a report of what's down there along with the actual healing options.
Yeah. There's some small sacks and some small belt pouches to try to collect some of the things with you, but you're right, it would be very difficult to carry all of these things. Like I said,
Well,
these things
my
are
troops will be
retreat.
returning to meet us here, so they
Right.
can bring a lot of the supplies back.
Do I see any more evidence of additional 𝐤𝐤𝐤 in the area? I mean, I'm just not sure if there are. Is the cave more extensive in that they might be hiding in other areas, or is this pretty much the limit of how far the cavern extends?
This is how far it extends. It appears as though there's a shallow area off to either side where the water maybe runs through here on the edge of the space, but this is just like one little spot that seems to be developed in the side of the land here.
Okay.
If there are 𝐤𝐤𝐤, maybe there could be fish or additional sharks or something in the water, but you don't see any movement. This appears to be just the initial scouting party that had come forward to start kind of preparing the advance of the ones behind them.
Okay. So I'll move back up top. So I've found plenty of healing down below, as well as some trade goods that we can return to 𝐿𝐴𝐿. It doesn't seem as though I think any other 𝐤𝐤𝐤 are here, but it might not be a bad idea to set up some kind of warning to let them know that we know of their little nest to keep them from returning here. Maybe heads on pikes.
I was more thinking of laying a trap for the next group that comes up this way. If they think they've got this place secured, they're going to send more people.
Just
That's
have
more
to
𝐤𝐤𝐤 heads to put on the stalactites.
Just have to clean the blood off the rocks.
They'll
I'm
still
sure.
probably check it out if they see it. He's going to pat one of the heads on the stalagmites.
You said these boats were roped off, and there's tied to the rocks there, and then there was a bunch of provisions and whatnot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why don't I agree. We need to wipe out anything left in here. If there's a patches down there, I say we head in. But first, I think we sink the boats, take what we can carry, if it's useful, and drown the rest of the provisions. Don't give them an inch.
Well, we're not going to waste the provisions. We'll take them back to the city. I'll have my men carry them.
What we can't carry. Oh, right.
I'll have my men carry what we can't take with us.
Right.
How long before your men arrive, 𝐸𝐿?
Once we get our bearings here, I planned on going to check on their status in 𝐿𝐴𝐿?
Clucus. With an A.
Clucus.
Clucus.
𝐿𝐴𝐿, yeah.
Let me see.
I'm gonna look at Dawn, since he went through the supplies and whatnot. Did you see any information or indication as to their orders for coming into this area?
I don't believe I did I, Joshua?
You did not.
That's specifically what I was looking for. No, I didn't find anything.
The 𝐤𝐤𝐤 aren't known to be a literate group of people.
Oh, okay.
I believe they practice oral traditions.
Mm-hmm.
Oral. All right.
Okay. That's fine. If you don't mind watching over me, I will enter Clucus and see how my men are doing and have them meet us here.
Sounds fine.
𝐸𝐿 will notch another bolt and be ready, kind of watching the door and whatnot.
Now,
Artemir's
Go ahead.
Artemir's going to look for his axe that he threw, and maybe even look for the dagger if it landed in the same shady spot.
Yeah, I would very much appreciate if you could find my dagger. That was the only one I had.
I've got an extra.
I was too weak to carry more than one.
I rolled on these to the side to kind of check to make sure you guys didn't just throw them into the water off the side of the bridge you were in, and they both did land on land. So you will be able to find the weapons that you threw. They'd clattered against the rocky incline on the other side without sliding off into the water.
All right. Otherwise, he's probably going to dive off into the water and go look. But
So Mihail is entering into Clucas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Which-
since he didn't notice that I wrote penis across his forehead the last time he did it, I'm gonna go ahead and braid his hair.
What? I don't remember you saying you drew a penis on my face.
I wrote penis
Oh, okay.
right there. Just go ahead and braid his hair.
Anything specific that you want to do in Clucas, Mihail, that we need to work through, or are you just going to check on your men and having them return back again?
I'm just gonna check on them and get their reports and have them meet us at the cave entrance at the earliest convenience.
Okay, you're going to see that they have continued to kind of traverse the area between where you are and the northern coast. There's been no other battles that have taken place. They haven't ran across any other Bukhari in the time, so they've kind of just been circling around and checking and looking for signs of movement, but haven't found any. So at your command, they will return back to the crossroads to meet you.
They're going to the crossroads, or they're coming to the cave?
The crossroads is at the cave. You guys were at the crossroads, and the
Yep.
cave was adjacent to it.
Yeah, it's right.
Oh,
in front.
okay. All right.
yeah, if you remember, we got to the crossroads. There was a sign that said "cave this way," and then we went over there, and yeah,
Yeah, we chose
Killed
not
the
to
bird.
take the exit for 𝐷𝐸.
said it had a great scenic view, so that's why we headed here.
This is a lovely cave.
It is.
Is there anything that anyone else wants to be doing while Sir Mihail is in Clucas?
No. Zircon's just gonna keep watch and rest a little bit.
Okay, so with that being said, then we'll be able to take just a short break here and allow everyone to level up before we continue our adventure. So if you guys want to move to level 2 with all of your characters, then we will venture forth after that's done. All right, welcome back, everybody, to Dungeon Brew. We are continuing on in our adventure of episode 2 for the 9th Ascension. Our party is here in the Crossroads Cave, where they've just defeated the Vucari. And I'm going to turn it over to you guys on how you want to move forward from here.
𝐿𝐷𝐼r, if you would give me a hand, I want to prop one of these bastards up. If you're all inclined, I'm going to ask it some questions. I hate doing this. These things are vile and disgusting, but I feel we need the information.
What questions are you going to ask? I feel like you should know before you ask.
I agree. That's typically how this works. I intend on asking where the larger force is when they plan on striking.
Right?
If they have any other back doors or entryways we need to take care of. And what their number this summer is, so we can prepare the troops.
You think
Unless
he'll give you answers?
you can think
to
of
this?
anything better.
Do you think he'll answer?
I don't know. But as of right now, we know nothing.
Anything we can get out of him would be a boon. Those seem like good questions, good answers to have.
He'll pick up the body and prop it over here by this little stalagmite. And he's gonna find another one and just kind of hold it up so he can, like, beat it while
This
the questions
will,
are being asked.
This will tax me almost for the end for the day. Just be prepared for that. So 𝐸𝐶𝐭 will he'll holster his crossbow, and he'll kneel down in front of the corpse, begin to meditate, and then begin to cast Speak with Dead.
All right, you channel this sacred magic through Marhina, who you believe to be not only the frozen witch, but in many instances called the goddess of death, and pull this creature back from his journeys across thrice 9 lands, out of the very apex that is Baba Yaga, to this realm again, before he's able to even cross the Kalinov Bridge into the Netherworld, to you again on his journey to what he would hope to have been a realm of peace eventually in Thrice-10 Kingdom. And you see this image shimmering blue in nature coming out of the body, and then being sucked back into it as it's being brought back to life to see you. Its brown eyes shoot immediately to you. You've done something so dark in its eyes of pulling it back to the world of the living, that it's just like dripping venom in looking at you with its eyes. At any moment, it looks like it would want to turn back into one of its monstrous beasts, like a wolf or a large ape, or maybe even something worse that lingers in its blood, and its brown eyes glint with defiance as you approach it with your crossbow in hand.
In holster. He holstered that.
Oh, in
holstered
holster. I thought you were holding it. I'm sorry.
No,
So as you holster, so as you approach, he's going to glint at you with defiance. What is your first question, 𝐸𝐶𝐭?
Do you have or any other strike locations hidden like this? In caves, under rocks, in the mud?
And it fights to resist the question that is being asked and fails in its ability to withhold that information. It will say, "The dragons harbor us, Red. They will keep us safe, and they will empower us in our onslaught against you, for we come from the same father. You are traitors of Wolos. You worship a witch. You will find us lingering in their caves, and we build up our forces at Sharani." And you would know that Shawrani is one of their villages. It's actually across the Nebu Sea, opposite side of Leerheim, more to the northeast.
What is your intended strike location, and when?
And again, it will try to resist answering you, and is incapable of doing so. We will strike Leerheim the day after the summer solstice. From the north and from the east.
Not to the corpse, but how long is the summer solstice away?
The summer solstice? Good question.
Ask the question approximately 70 days.
You guys know exactly how long it is until the summer solstice. So you know that usually your battles with the Vucari start after the summer solstice to some degree, which is why it's been intriguing to see them pushing down south in late spring and starting to build their forces prior to doing that, because usually they don't even start advancing until after the summer solstice. But the summer solstice is marked by a couple of celebrations. One is coming up here fairly quickly for you guys in, let me see, 2 days' time. Yes, 2 days' time. Not tomorrow, but the day after will be the celebration of Parandon, which happens on like the 20th, and then this winter solstice, of course, the day following after that. So they're saying the day afterwards. So you're looking at the 22nd. Today would be the 18th. 4 days. Sorry, that was a long explanation to say 4 days.
All
4
right, so
days.
4 days for the
Until-
summer solstice. You said something about the winter solstice in there. I'm assuming that you didn't mean that.
I did not mean that.
Okay,
Parandon is in 2 days, a celebration, and then the day after that's the solstice, and he's saying he's going to be attacking the day after that on the 22nd.
So 4 days from now.
4 days from now.
4 days.
Which, after that explanation, is actually down to 3 days.
Right.
Yeah.
Shit.
Thanks, Todd. For anyone that's mathing in the audience, it's soon.
With that answer, Țârkan's going to look at Mihail. How confident are you in our troops?
Not confident at all, Vucari says, and falls dead. No, I'm just kidding.
You actually got 4 questions.
How confident am I in our defenses?
Well, for 800 years, you fought them back, so you're pretty confident.
Yeah, but like, are we
They're
prepared?
not good at what they do.
Well, there's always a little bit of exchange on either side, but neither side's ever been wiped out. I mean, even you guys even launched some attacks against them on their own homeland from time to time, and trying to push them back further. But at no point has anyone ever had the upper hand to end the war for good.
Will we hold Sir Mihail?
I believe we will hold the city. It might be a dirty soiree, but we would hold.
I'm changing my last question then. And Țârkan will look at the creature, because that's what he feels they are. They're not human to him. They're not humanoids.
Mhm.
They're creatures. Why, after 800 years, push up the timetable? Why attack now, and not when you typically do? What's changed?
He doesn't even try to resist this. He is so furious. You can see it seething from his bleeding, already discolored corpse. And he'll tell you, Marina has led you away from your charge. The treachery of you Reds led many Vucari to falter in their own walk, and have since become mindless beasts roaming the wastes of the north. You deserve every moment of suffering. You dabble with Kodastovo, a power none of you should possess. You have cursed these lands and all that inhabit them. Aenar will only be safe when your kind are dead. Chaos and death is the only language the Stygians understand. There will never be peace between our kind. Volos demands justice, and my people have been ordered to deliver it. And with that, he will fall dead.
And as he says that, even though I know he can't hear me, Țârkan's going to say it anyway. And you, get no afterlife.
And this is true.
And he'll spit on the corpse.
In pulling him back from his walk to Thrice Nine Lands across the Calanov Bridge, he is now forever damned to wander the frozen netherworld as some sort of demon that has been manipulated by Marhina's magic specifically into this evil creature to roam the lands for eternal time.
That is awesome.
Well, we have our answers. It would appear they want to see us sooner than normal this year.
Seems we have a siege to prepare for, along with our festivals.
Erdemir was
Dragon
gonna
killing.
Erdemir will be happy with that and dragon killing. Then he'll cut off the head of the person you were talking to and chuck his head into the water.
Well, it was taxing, but I feel it was worth it. Mr.
Yeah,
Mahale,
this is
what
valuable
can
information.
you feel like we can stop that?
I feel like the city will survive.
I will admit that I had my doubts whether it would be worth it, but that information is invaluable.
Yes, knowing that they've upped the timetable and plan to hit us just after the solstice. Being
They may
aware
have
of that
already-
ahead of time is good.
They may have already attacked for as long as we stand here and talk. Let's move forward.
Agreed.
Well,
We
we have to wait
we
for
have
my troops to return.
All right. Well, I'm going to sit out.
Your troops will return probably within the hour. I mean, they had been venturing out for some time. This means, of course, it's moving closer to later afternoon time period, and you still have a couple of hours to travel southward to try to locate the green dragon lair. But they will be able to return to your-
why we need to wait for them. Didn't you already tell them what to do?
No, I told them to meet us here.
Okay. I feel like you could have told them what to do.
Could have been
Well-
an email.
Yeah, could have been an email. Come here, check out the cave, grab any supplies.
Well, now we
return
have
to the
important
city.
information that I need to relay to them anyway.
Fair enough.
Also very true.
Which I actually am prepared for this because I have vellum, sealing wax, and my signet ring. And while we're waiting for the soldiers, I'm going to write out the information we got from the corpse and seal the letter and give it to Domard.
Okay.
And have him deliver it to my uncle.
To Sir Gabriel.
Yes. With instructions that it should not be opened and be given to him directly as soon as he reaches the city.
You're telling Domar to give it to the Surtur and tell the Surtur not to open it? Or just telling...
No, Domard is not to open.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, it's not to be opened by anyone other than the Surtur.
Okay, so dictate to me what exactly this letter says. You're just talking about the invasion time period, the direction in which they're coming from, and...
Yes, so it will say that we cleared out the Bukhari in this cave. It would be good to send some men here to watch it in case more come in.
Mhm.
The information that we got from the corpse, their timetable, the numbers they have, and I guess I'll put in for authenticity, I'll put in his last statement, his rant about how we're evil and all that.
Okay.
And say that I'll put emphasis on how they were going to strike from the north and east. I believe we're to the north of the city, right?
Yeah, you're currently north of the city. Well, northeast a little bit, but they're talking about even further northeast and coming down that direction.
Right. So I might put professional recommendation that we send more scout parties to look for more of these things.
Okay. All right. Of course, Delmard will acquiesce to that quickly and easily. Absolutely. I will do as you say, Commander. Whatever your charge is, I'm an extension of that, and I have no issue doing as you need. For the men, are they able to take the evening off when we return after the work that they've done, or are you requesting them to do something more?
I believe the next few days will be eventful enough. They can take the evening off when they return to the city.
Okay. And then, of course, I imagine Jarek is there in this conversation as well as your other voivode. And any command for me, Sir Caligula?
Yes. I want you, when you return to the city, to gather up. Let's see, I had 50 total. I brought 15 with me. So grab 7 men and send them further north to return the next evening. I want them out scouting.
Do you want them north of the crossroads where we are? Are you asking me to send them across on a boat to Rayan?
Which makes more sense with the geography?
Leierheim is actually right on the coast as a coastal city. So further north of Leierheim puts you into the sea and then across to the place where the 𝐵ukari live on their own island. For where you guys are at the crossroads, north would be going further up, just up along the coast, and essentially traipsing up and down the coast looking for any signs on your side of the Nepu Sea.
Okay, so if they were to strike from the north, they're coming in by boats, most likely.
Or as transformed creatures that swim in water.
Right.
Fishes.
Fishes, yeah.
Or
Okay.
Transformers.
One of the two.
They're already that.
It's really a coin flip at this point.
Okay, in that case, I want him to send the men to the east to look for any land-bound encampments. Because they're not going to find much on the coast, I don't think.
Okay.
I want them to look for more caves, holes in the ground, that kind of thing.
He's going to give you a sharp nod and then kind of side eye at Delmard. He'll lean inward and kind of cover his mouth and be like, "And sir, is there anything you'd like me to tell your father while I'm in town?"
Yes. Tell him that I wish to speak to him as soon as I return to the city, and I will come to his home.
Absolutely.
Do we share a home? We don't share a home, right?
You do not, no.
Okay, yeah.
Absolutely. I will report it to him first thing before I head out.
Thank you very much. Dismissed.
And with that, Jarek is going to snicker at Delmard with this special instruction to speak to your father and walk off.
I'm going to roll my eyes as I turn back to the rest of the group.
Is this high school? What is this?
Yeah,
shit?
right?
I mean,
I expect some more professionalism from my men. Not this
Jesus.
favoritism bullshit.
Whatever.
I'm pretty sure the surgeon told you that you needed to be a little harsher on him.
I might have to do that.
All right, so
Eric's just gonna grab a body that has no head and chuck it into the water, see how far he can throw it.
Get home and need to whip him
Yeah.
with a bramble switch.
I feel like Eretmir's just been in here tossing body parts, trying to
Exactly.
get them on the river as
Yes,
we're waiting
essentially.
for the soldiers and everything.
He is bored and he just wants to go get the dragon, and he's like,
he's
Yeah.
developed an entire game with a point system. But
yes. He actually got 3 skips on one of them. I'm just saying.
on a head?
No, on the body. He chucked
okay.
it, spun it, discus
yeah,
style.
it's all about the spin, like the angle of the spin.
Yeah, it's all in the wrist. You
Yeah.
gotta get that
I
hook in
imagine
there.
Eretmir's fuming a little bit. Like, he doesn't even care about the 𝐵ukari. He just came to
Right.
kill dragons primarily, and he almost got murdered by one of these skin switchers.
Yeah.
But we also found out that the dragons are harboring these guys. So obviously,
You got
they're with the dragons. You don't like
Yeah.
ramp up the dragon attacks. Let's do it.
Let's I'd rather get information about what's going on with the dragons than just fighting them. So yes, he is
Sure.
very content now.
Let's do it.
So really quick before you guys head out, Any notable things you're taking out of the inventory pieces that I know is in your possession before you guys head down toward the dragon? Oh, yeah. All right, so you guys are going to have no issue essentially traversing the path. And with the Isbellini in your company, he's able to track the path of the Green Dragon lair. This is a couple of hours to the south from where you were at. So by the time you're getting here, it's nearing supper time. The sun is starting to go down beneath the mountains a little bit, but there's still enough light. You guys are circling around the side of the mountain looking for the cave. You're at a distance right now where the dragons have not taken notice of you. You're cautious enough in your approach that they have not taken notice, but you are all keenly aware in working with dragons that green dragons are pretty notorious of being aware of their surroundings, and your ability of staying hidden could be challenged without something to help you be hidden. In fact, specifically towards Mihail, you know, in dragon hunting, oftentimes there's somebody that's helping people become invisible to hide from sight from dragons, especially green dragons, because they're so notorious of spotting movement within their environments. But you guys will be circling around the edge. There is a huge open clearing that you are stepping into with trees that are growing in several scattered spots across the way, water that is running down from the mountains of the Shadefells into this particular area, and a waterfall that is dropping off just north of where you are standing at. Behind that waterfall, you are aware, you can see the indentions of where a cave is stretching further back, but in front of it, here in the clearing, you see a couple of young dragons playing without any parent dragon in sight. It is your hope that that dragon is either off hunting somewhere far away from this region or far enough back in the cave itself that maybe it's sleeping and will not notice your approach. The two dragons that you see in front of you are young green dragons. One is 2 foot long, one is 4 foot long. They both have 3 wiry necks that are whipping around with eyes looking in all directions as they kind of roll on the grass, chase each other, and play to some extent. As you continue to watch, you see that the 4 foot one kind of moves away and is kind of like peering down in the water, while the 2 foot one is kind of rolling around, chasing its own tail in the grass further away from it. And it is you guys to decide how you want to approach this scenario. You know you need that 2 foot dragon. You're trying to get the quill on its neck or slaughter it and retrieve that quill for the making of the book. What else do I need to say? The 4 foot one, the quills have already started to turn into spines. So while slaughtering the dragon may be inevitable, depending on your approach, those quills will not help you.
How big is the clearing?
The clearing itself, probably close to 120 feet wide, by probably about 200 feet long. So it's a pretty big area.
Would you mind describing this in a less wholesome manner so we feel less guilty about murdering these creatures?
Oh no!
Have a map.
As the dragons are rolling around, playing with their tails, and you walk up and slaughter them. This is an evil campaign, John.
Yeah.
You guys hate these things.
Dirty dragons. Okay.
These are both very young green wormlings. I mean, one of them is no older than a year. The other one's no older than 2 years old. Let's see. Here we go. This is what you know. Green dragons are also, if this helps you out, known to be very destructive creatures in nature. They really like to ambush their enemies and tear them apart before they attack. And I'd like a wisdom or intelligent roll, depending on what you're most gifted in, to see what more you may know about this. Oh man, Erdmir, the dragon hunter, rolled a critical miss. Sir Mihail rolled a 2.
Erdmir's over there going, those aren't even dragons.
𝐸𝐿,
What the hell is that?
𝐸𝐿 also
Never seen
didn't
something so
succeed,
small.
even though it's a prime requisite. But Don Mager, who is the keeper of knowledge within the temple itself, has read quite a bit about dragons and knows about green dragons and the way that they like to attack. they usually start with a cloud of poisonous gas and then like to dive onto their victims before they can recover. And they always like to target who they perceive to be the weakest in the party first, separating them off and killing them before moving on to larger targets.
Okay.
That is what you would know with your 14 roll.
I don't know. I feel like our cleric should watch out. He's the one that's graying over here.
True.
Maybe we have him run out and see if he attracts him, and then we set up our own trap.
Is there any? You're committed to killing these things, aren't you, Aaron?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
just
we
checking.
might be able to do this without killing.
I thought we might, but I don't think Aaron would allow it.
I mean,
I would rather
want to
not
kill at
deal
least
with the bigger
one.
dragon.
Not that I'm opposed. I just figured it would be simpler if we tried to pluck the spine, the quill, with a bit of magic instead of trying to close the distance and fight. But again, I don't think Eretmir is probably on board for that.
You guys are killing me.
Right, I know. That's why I said it.
Don, I will say also with that 14, you know that 4-foot dragon is dangerous.
And that was dangerous.
Yeah, it is probably, like, in terms of like its ability to withstand a fight, it's 4 times more able than the smaller dragon.
If I had to quantify it,
On a scale of 1 to 20.
Look, I've never even heard of a green dragon, apparently, so... Look, let's do what we have to.
all right. So it will probably try and single us out. So I'm not sure if the best bet is to spread out somewhat, so that they can't target us all with their breaths, or if it is to stay grouped up in case they try and split one of us off. We can support one another. Any thoughts?
Well, I grabbed that fishing net. I know it's probably not strong enough to completely hold it, but it might be able to use it to restrict its movement for a little bit to give us an advantage.
Might delay it. It might be not a bad idea to throw that on the smaller one, so we can deal with the larger one first, and then go back to the smaller one by the time it's broken free.
Out of curiosity, and maybe this is in the notes and I just haven't read it. Is it possible to exert yourself and use 1 more mana per day than you have?
It is not.
Okay.
No.
Never mind. Okay.
I can create a fog cloud near the river that might distract the larger dragon while we deal with the 2-foot.
Mihaela, Dawn, do you have the ability to silence the beast?
I don't. What is that classified as, Joshua? Is that considered to be air, like sky magic, or is that sacred? I don't.
According to this, it's a cleric 2 spell.
Right, but silencing feels like a thing that you would control with sky magic.
Yeah, I
I
would
think
say that.
Sky Void could do it.
I'm gonna say it's probably sky magic. It's a matter of whipping around the wind to contain the sound in a particular area, so
Right.
it can't go beyond that space.
If we can subdue the little one with the net and silence that immediate area, that would prevent it from calling out. If we can not draw the ire or attention of the 4-foot one.
How
Just
far
grab it
apart
and
are
go.
How far apart are they? Right
At
now?
this time, they're about 20 feet, but as you guys are talking, you will see that the smaller one will move up northward a little bit. The other one will actually dive into the water, disappear for a little while, and then come back out again with a fish or two in one of its coned mouths and eating it, and then searching again in the water to see if there's anything else swimming about.
Okay, so we have to go across the river to get to eat the dragon.
At this time,
Okay.
it would appear so.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so I
okay.
can't put a cloud on the river. to block off the 4-foot. We have to go directly by it to get to it.
Um,
Well, there's areas across further up if you needed to.
which one is closest to the waterfall up here?
The one
I can-
closest to the waterfall is the 4-foot. It's the bigger one.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, do we know how curious green dragons are?
They're quite curious.
So, like, if we, I don't know, if we had anything that reflected light or anything,
I can create an illusion.
could we do that farther down and maybe attract the 2-foot towards us?
I do like that idea. See if we can distract it, bring it further to the south
Mm-hmm.
from where it's currently at.
And sneaking would just be dexterity.
It would.
But we're also far enough over here. Could we kind of go a little out of the way to maybe not have to sneak up for a lot of the area?
You could circle out and around if you wanted to kind of give some distance. I mean, dragons have very good sight. The fact that you guys have moved up to the position that you have has only been due to your ability to kind of move them along the side of the mountain to this point. But if you're going to circle up, you're going to be moving through the brush in line of sight of them, and they're pretty keen at being able to spot things moving, even at a good distance. 100, 200 yards in the brush. That's how they hunt.
Or if we could put like the distraction here to see if we could get it to cross the river, even if we were where we're at.
Yeah, I like that. That's further away from the other one.
I think we just tackle it head on. I'm not sure. Whatever
Yeah.
we do here, like if we manage to pull that one out of place, I think that we're going to expend just as many resources trying to get that dragon to come to us and like block the other one off with other spells and stuff that we might as well just fight them both.
All right.
I still think
I don't know
we
anything
should-
about green dragons, so let's do it.
I still think we should target the 4-foot dragon first and try and just toss the net on the smaller one whenever it engages or whenever we can get close enough to do it, and see if we can't just all dogpile the 4-foot one and get it out of the way as quick as possible. That's my strategy, but I'm open to other
Okay.
thoughts if you guys are thinking something else.
The only other thing I would say is that it may not be a good idea for me to carry the net then, because if I'm engaged with the other,
What is the skill requisites for using a net?
Anyone that has any weapon on their thing, I think that you guys all can use any weapon.
How much does it weigh? Who can actually carry it besides
It-
Eric?
Like,
One
is it a
EV.
strength to throw it? Is it dex to throw it?
It would be a dex to throw it, but I mean, you guys could also use magic to launch it and have it do what you want it to do by using air or by sky magic.
Okay.
I suppose I can take the net then.
okay.
About how much does the 2-foot dragon weigh? Do we know that? Like, on average, how much does a small dragon weigh?
I would say the same as like a small to medium dog. Well, maybe
Yeah.
add it up a little bit. It's only 2 foot long,
Yeah.
so like a medium dog because it's got a lot of head, a lot of heads. Sorry.
Is it less than
Yeah.
100 pounds?
I would imagine so, yeah. You're probably looking at about 50 pounds.
Okay.
The other one's probably closer to 100.
Alright, because I have levitate, and if the net doesn't work, that'd be a way to keep it out of the fight.
John,
But
you're
it's
also gonna,
expensive.
and John, you're also gonna note that 14 you rolled earlier. That 4-foot dragon is quite a bit harder to hit. Like its scales are thicker. You guys
Yeah,
are.
I already quantified it 4 times as hard.
All right.
It hits harder. It's harder to hit. It's got all the things.
Okay.
Any other
All right.
any other thoughts? Any other plans that we want to go through?
So, to get this clear, I'm moving to the south to just throw a net at the 2-foot dragon. and then we're all dogpiling on the 4-foot dragon.
That was my plan. I don't know if you guys don't agree with that, that's fine, but that was just what I was thinking. Simple plans are easier to execute.
It's still gonna go wrong.
No,
but...
it'll go wrong. Like, you're gonna miss the net, and we're all gonna crit miss on the dragon.
I feel the short
gonna
rest.
land 3 breath weapons on 𝐿 and kill him, but that's.
I feel like tomorrow's short rest theme tomorrow will be mistakes were made.
We will see.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
I guess let's do it.
So,
well, the dragons did roll a critical miss on being aware of you, so you guys are going to have a round to do what you want to do before we roll official initiative.
All right,
So
well,
you guys,
would I have
you guys
a
the jump.
chance? Would I have a chance to move south before we move in?
Moving south is going to give them an option to essentially see if you go across that space or not. So it depends on how far south you're moving, I guess. If you're moving all the way across, depends on where you're coming across at.
Well, my thought was to move down to about like here, and then when they move towards the big dragon, I'll move towards the little dragon, and then meet them once that one is detained. But I don't want to move to where they'll catch me before the group is ready.
You are unsure how successful you will be in that group.
Alright, I'll just stay here and move with the party then.
You know that they're very keen at seeing things moving through the grasses.
Would 𝐿 be able to? Would he think he would have a high level success of creeping along this mountain wall, like here to this tree? And if he sucks in his gut, can he like still not maybe be seen?
Given that 𝐿 is 7'2" and 360 pounds, probably not.
What if he really sucks in his gut hard? I mean,
He tries
All right.
real hard.
You sucking in your gut, and the 3 men behind you will still be able to hide within your gut.
okay.
You go forward, we'll stand behind. You'll be fine.
Oh yeah, then I'll look like the weakest one, and they'll all come for me. Good call.
Makes sense to me. 𝐸 gonna notch a bolt and just say a little prayer.
Might need a bigger prayer than that, holy man. Let's go.
All right, like I said, you guys have the first round to move as you want. You can choose what order you want to move in. Each of you guys have an ability to...
Let's say 𝐿 starts the party.
We might want to spread out in case they do like to give us bad breath.
Seems as though if you are up front, they may have a little bit harder time getting to those of us in the back they perceive as weaker. I don't think they'll be eager to engage you directly. I think they'll try and avoid you and come to us.
I guess then I'll just... What, you just want me to go forward and see what they do? Blow the little horn I got?
Well, I mean...
No!
Just that you're up front and we'll be behind you.
Alright.
I don't know.
How far do you want me to move up? I don't know what you guys want me to do.
That's up to you. As far as you can move or you want to move, can you get an attack this round if you move far enough?
No.
There's no way you can do that.
Well, I mean, I have 20 feet I can move.
Yeah, I would just say move 20 feet. Well, I mean, if you're not gonna get in an attack, it doesn't really matter.
Well, but if I get close enough for them to just move up and attack me, then...
I guess we're already within that.
If I'm moving
probably
15 feet, Joshua, is that far enough? If I'm moving 15 feet, am I close enough to target that with a spell?
Yeah. You're only 60 feet away.
Okay. I'll let everybody get in position and then we can do stuff. So 60 feet
I guess
away
I'll use
from him, then across the river.
I will use a double movement to move up to here. Or full movement.
Full movement is ×2 or ×3?
It can be up to ×3.
Alright, I'm gonna come down behind this bush.
Alright, so setting the scene, you guys all break and move in a fan position to start heading towards the dragons on the opposite side of the river. You have Eretmir leading the pack, running forward now about 40 feet away from the largest dragon in front of you. Dawn is standing back almost 60 feet, just slightly north of Eretmir. 𝐸 is directly behind Eretmir by about 20 feet, and Mihail has moved further to the south, also about 15 feet from Eretmir, but hiding behind a bush. Any actions taken in this first round?
Yeah. So, Dawn is going to use some sea magic, and he is going to take some water up out of the flowing river, kind of as the dragon is coming back up again, munching on some fish. And I'm going to freeze it, turn it into a spear of ice, and then launch it at its torso.
Oh, very nice.
I'm intending to use 3 mana, which I believe would be 3d4 save for half damage for whatever save you want that dragon to have.
So I'm guessing this is going to be a dex save to try to get out of that.
Yep, and the total will be 9, depending on whether he saves or not.
He does not.
So 9 sea damage, ice damage, cold damage, however you want to call that.
Yeah, so you pull up this water, freeze it, shoot it through, as a spear directly through the 4-foot dragon standing across from you, completely taking him off guard. Being betrayed by what is kind of his, well, it's not his element, but they are water creatures, very much so. Very nice. 9 damage to the larger dragon. Anyone else have any actions in the first round?
𝐸 just gonna launch a bolt at the dragon that's coming out of the water. When it does, about the same time as that ice shard hits him.
So firing at the same large 4-foot dragon.
Yes.
And that is a miss. I believe that Eretmir used his full movement to get where he's at. So, Sir Mihail, any actions from you?
I double move to get down here.
All right. So we are ready then, I guess, to roll initiative.
Bottom of the turn order again.
Yeah.
I like to sit back and watch how the fight goes.
It's
You
not
like
a
to
bad place
watch.
to be. I'm not excited about being near the top.
All right. The dragon is going to... The 4-foot dragon is going to fly up, and he is flying towards Dawn, landing right about 10 feet away from you, Dawn, and will fire all 3 breath weapons at you.
You can move and attack? Damn. Okay.
Dragons suck.
Yeah.
His movement's 150 feet, so you can move half feet and then attack.
Well, I've done my bit for the fight. Everybody, good luck.
Way to distract him.
You will get a dex save for each one of these.
So you just want me to roll 3 dex saves?
Yeah. And this is a prime, so you made your first one, missed your second one, and missed your third one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm afraid this is just going to kill you.
Yeah, well, no, that's exactly what I expect. Even if I made it, it would have killed me. I don't think it would have mattered. It's 3 breath weapons.
Yeah. Pretty sure he only needs 1 to actually kill you, depending on the roll.
I know. Apparently he perceived me as the weakest because I beat his ass with an ice shard.
So the first one does...
Oh, first.
Is that... But that should have been halved, the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was only... You gave yourself back 4 life.
Okay.
Oh, you're
not-
doing good.
Not that it matters at all.
And then you got 2 full ones.
And I'm dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one alone would have killed me twice. Okay.
I'm very shocked you guys are trying to fight this one instead of drawing them off. You guys were told for your left, whatever you do not fight the bigger dragons.
I don't remember that conversation at all.
What Dwarfay told you, he said, whatever you do, don't fight the bigger ones. Or no, it wasn't Dwarfay, it was 𝐸 mother. She said, only attack the little ones and do not fight the bigger ones no matter what you do. This is your first mission.
Does anyone remember that?
This is still I remember that, but I was thinking like adult dragon, not.
I was trying to draw it
dragon.
off.
Well, okay, so I'm dead.
Well,
You'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You're not dead.
It says dead.
It says super dead.
Remember, we said that if you
24.
go under, you're just like unconscious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aramir is now up.
All right. Does this thing have a backside or?
It does, but it's not being threatened. Well,
All
I
right.
guess you're moving behind it, so you would get the +2 on it.
All right, good. Then it's all good. We're
Yeah,
good. We got
it's not
this.
facing you. It's just got done shooting all of its poisonous gas on Dawn.
All right. So Aramir's gonna run up behind it and be like, "I'm gonna get you," and swing his axe. And miss.
Missed.
Is this where we hit F8? I'm just asking. Did anyone hit F5 before we started this fight?
Circon.
No, I forgot. Sorry.
𝐸⁻ son of biscuit eater.
Yeah, and that other dragon hasn't even noticed us,
It
apparently.
hasn't. It's still chasing its tail. The other one's there running around its tail. Doesn't even know that he's raining. He's like, oh, whatever. He's just getting himself dinner.
Zircon's gonna move
Away and run.
frickin' nowhere, I guess. I don't know.
Gonna go touch Dawn.
Probably.
The
I don't
dead
know,
Guy.
you
Gonna go
walk
touch
by.
the dead guy.
You go talk to him.
You're knocked out. You're not dead. You're not dead yet. Yeah. I just because you use the last 2 mana he has and attempt to, yep, that's about right. That's 3 HP.
So, am I at -22 or am I at 3?
I'm gonna pitch
3.
3 there, Dawn.
Because you don't die, you get knocked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you stop at 0.
So the good news is you may get to die twice in this fight.
Yeah, well, no, I'm counting on it.
You guys might have to retreat and replan your strategy.
Yep.
All right, Sir Mihail,
Okay, so
holding that net.
Oh, you're gonna go for it.
So levitate gives me the option to pick up a creature or object,
Mm-hmm.
right? So can I use that to pluck a quill off this dragon and bring it to me?
You can do that, yeah. With your void magic, you can pull it off. Just gonna
Yeah.
be a intelligence check to see if you're gonna be strong enough to rip it off of it. You're essentially using your magic to be strong enough to rip this quill with your void magic from its flesh.
Okay, so I'm just using void magic as an effect, not the spell.
Oh, I think it would be at the same level what you're doing for mono wise, but yeah.
Okay,
I mean, if
because
you're just
levitate
doing-
lasts for 20 minutes, and
Let me think about this. So levitate, like if you're a quill is, I'm trying to think of a good way of explaining this or how I'm seeing it in my head. Like casting
Basically-
levitate on your hair is just gonna make your hair stand straight up. And then you're
well,
just,
I can pick it up with an amount of force. So if I grab it with the levitate and pull, I should be able to pull it out and move it with me.
let me look at your spell.
It's,
One thing to remember
spell-
though is you don't want to touch the quill.
That's why I have levitate that lasts 20 minutes.
Okay. I'm just reminding you just to.
Yeah, no, I can't touch it unless I have like a rag or something. I got a bag of dust.
We could
Put it in
batter
a
it.
jar of dirt.
So I don't mind you using, I mean, it's not going to be levitate, but I don't mind you using like sky magic for the same type of mana to pull it and use like an intelligence check to rip it off of the dragon. It just wouldn't be a levitate spell. You're just creating your
Okay.
own type of spell to do it.
And that's still going to cost me the 3 mana.
I would,
For
I
second
would
level
say maybe,
spell?
I'd say maybe 2 because you're not going to have like the same time limit on it. The 3 mana thing
Okay.
is 20 minutes. This isn't going to be 20 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, I'll spend the 2 to try and do that.
All right.
Spend 5 and rip the damn thing out.
I
Rip its
thought
heart
about it.
Skin it from a distance and bring us the hide.
Yeah.
That is successful. You are
Yeah,
able
bud.
to rip the quill directly out of the small 2-foot green dragon's flesh and fly it across the area to you, where it's now hovering in front of you. But you'll able to maintain this, I'll say, for half the time, so 10 minutes.
Okay, well, I'm gonna pull out my bag of dirt or dust and just put it in the bag and seal it up.
Okay. Trying to think if I'm okay with you doing that in one turn. That's fine. That's fine.
Like, if you want to wait until next turn for me to put it in the bag, that's fine.
Yeah, usually
Like,
it's
that's just my
interacting with
plan.
an action. I just don't know. Is the bag of dust like on your belt? Or you just have that tied
Yeah.
onto your bag of? Okay.
Yeah, it's on my belt.
Okay. All right.
Like, I can just hold it open at my belt and just float it in.
All right. The moment of truth as we start the next round. Erdemir is up first.
All right.
Oh, I'm gonna yell out that I've got it.
I got it.
Once that happens.
So we're all over there going, all right, you got the net on the dragon.
I got the quill.
All right. Well, let's see here. Erdemir's gonna hold up his axe and try to swing again.
You,
Two is a
you need
miss.
to do better. You need to do better at all of this.
Done.
All right. Dawn is going to back away. And I am going to... Is he like flying, floating? Is he? Did he land?
No,
like...
he landed. He landed to fire the breath at you.
Okay, I want to use 3 mana to try and turn the ground, to basically have the ground reach up and grab its feet to keep it there.
Okay. Put my mana chart here. So you're using 3
said
mana
3?
to do this.
3 mana. So hopefully, the intent here is I'm not doing damage, but maybe it will have a longer duration.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like he didn't roll well on that.
I did not. I would like you to roll me the 3d4. Yeah, it failed its dex save. Completely not seeing this coming. The ground comes up, grabs its feet, pulls it into it, and clutches onto it. It is held for the next 10 rounds.
Lovely.
Yeah, so that ground is fastening it in place where it is at.
Yeah, so I backed away behind the healer there and cast that to keep him from chasing me down and murdering me again.
And clearly, this is stone magic that you were using here.
Yes, stone magic, stone magic.
This is not primal. All right, that is going to move us back to the dragon. And he is stuck facing in the opposite direction. So he's not able to use his claws that are clasped within the ground. He's not able to use his bite because of how he's positioned and not being able to get his head back far and have to turn around and actually bite at Erdemir for his 3 bites. But he is able to use his tail attack against Erdemir.
All right.
And that's a critical miss.
Nice.
Doesn't that
so
break his tail?
I was going to say, doesn't that cause it to break?
Tail falls off.
And suddenly, Eretmir has a new cod piece.
Exactly. Miss earlier. I guess I forgot.
That's what we call a win-win.
What was the critical miss earlier? Whose weapon broke?
That was Todd tossing his axe.
No,
No.
that wasn't a critical miss. You
No,
critically
it was your
missed with
crossbow.
Oh, my crossbow. That's
the
right.
first attack of the night from your crossbow.
Oh, that's right.
Crossbows don't break
Yeah.
when you critically miss. That's not made out of bronze.
No, like the bolt breaks or something.
Yeah, the bolt,
Um,
the bolt
alright.
would have broken. Yeah.
So 𝐸 going to move 15 feet to his south. So he's not, hopefully not in sight or line
Breath.
of that breath weapon. And he's going to holler for Eretmir to back off. We have what we need, what we came for. There'll be other chances. And he's actually, as he moves to the south and says that, he's going to use the rest of his movement and bolt off to the to the west a little bit here.
All right, 𝐸 is making a run for it. They have what they need. but the 2-foot dragon is pissed.
Does
I'm sure he is.
Does it understand where it came from? I mean, I kind of get the sense it's like a puppy. Did it like get poked in the butt and then like turn around to try and figure out what just poked it in the ass?
I was rolling a wisdom to see if it was able to find it, and it failed its wisdom save. It doesn't know what is going on. It can hear probably the cries of the other dragon who's now being caught, and so it has got a moment of being dazed. It's had something ripped out of its flesh. There's sounds that are crying out from the other dragon that are echoing off of the mountain area, and so it's looking around to try to see where this is coming from. And just about the end of its time, it turns and finally makes sight of you guys across the way. But it does not have any opportunity to move on you. 𝐸𝐸, you are up. You have a quill now in your bag of dirt. What are you doing?
Okay, so I'm gonna cast Fog Cloud, which creates obscuring mist in a 50 by 20 by 20 foot area.
Okay, so you're going to cast this fog cloud on the larger dragon that's going to start enveloping the dragon and Erdmir?
No. I was going to build a wall, like just this side of the river.
So re-describing this a little bit in the way that I understand it, 𝐸𝐸 is going to be using sky magic to essentially bring a steam off of the water that is going to stretch the length of the river that is pouring out from this waterfall to give this cascading essential fog that is separating the smaller dragon from all of you and the larger dragon to obscure its vision.
Yes.
Which I assume is to make your escape.
Indeed.
All right.
Which I can only move 15
That's good.
after casting.
I just wanted to make sure that's where the plan was here.
That was my plan. I'm out.
Yeah, that's a good plan.
All right, that is going to put up Dawn, Erdmir, and 𝐸𝐸 at the top of the round.
Erdmir, are we leaving?
He's like looking at the dragon, looking at leaving. And he's gonna be like, I hate this.
Okay. So, Dawn will wait half a second to make sure Erdmir is going to move, and then they'll turn
𝐸𝐸's going to do the same thing.
and start running.
It's going to be a delayed start. If Erdmir takes off, 𝐸𝐸 will also take off.
Does it get attack of opportunity of me leaving with its tail?
It would, with the tail.
It already fell off. I don't understand how.
Could he use...
Oh, God.
Not much. It only hits you for a couple of damage as you're running away. And of course, it can't move. It can't fly out. It is stuck in this. It's going to try to break out of the ground and is incapable of doing so. Very well fastened within the stone that has been created around its feet. After this, of course, 𝐸𝐸 is able to go up, and I'm assuming that you're chasing after them.
Yep,
as you guys start to flee, over to the back of you, you can hear the cry of the smaller dragon as it flies up into the air. It has 150 foot of movement, and it starts circling up in the air to watch you as you are absconding into the distance. But at the cries of its companion that is down on the ground, it swoops back down to try to help its companion, and the four of you have an opportunity to fully escape the scene and head back towards the 𝐸𝐸 without being pursued.
Oh, thank Marina.
Once we get a safe distance away, Erdmir is going to reach into his bag and pull out one of the bottles of wine that he swiped from the cave and just start drinking.
Just chug it.
You might share some of that with Don. Looks like he needs it.
I don't want
He will. He will pull out another bottle because he actually grabbed two and hand it to Don.
Yeah, fine. Don will drink.
So you guys are going to be able to make your way back towards 𝐸𝐸. You're not going to arrive to the city gates until well into dark. It's probably going to be closer to 9, 10 o'clock at night by the time you guys traverse up with your wounds, of course, traveling as well. Always watching over your backs, not sure if the dragons are going to be in pursuit. But as you near the city, you start to feel more confident in that these dragons are not pursuing and they stayed close to their lair. But yeah, you guys are kind of worse for wear. I think Mihail is the only one that is uninjured at this time because he was able to heal after the battle with the Drukhari. But the rest of you are sore, you're hurting, you're bleeding as you make your way, I assume, towards the Temple of Marhina to return your first prize, the Quill from the Green Dragon Wormling.
Yes.
As you guys make your way into the temple, you actually see that the 5 members of the Kyrian Council are in deep discussion, sitting in the main hall, even this late, chattering amongst themselves, only pausing as they see you enter through the double doors of the building.
When I enter the room, I'll walk up to wherever we normally stand to be addressed. I'll give a slight bow, say we return successful.
It'll be Dorfe who'll respond to you. My son, it was good to see you. We were beginning to worry what had befallen you. Your Vovoid had come by and checked in briefly earlier this evening before heading out again. And he is going to he's not going to extend his hand, but he's going to kind of look wantingly to see you present the prize that you have won. You say that you have retrieved the Quill of the Green Wormling, yes?
I will nod and remove the bag of dust from my belt and kind of open it so that they can see it before handing it to him.
It'll be Rosalia, Dawn's mother, who will stand up to take the bag from you.
Okay.
Praise Marhina. The first item has been secured. And Dorfe will then respond, having a grave expression. He'll say, though it seems even with small victories, there are still things to be considered. A crisis has befallen us whilst you were away, yes? Seized vital manuscripts from our library, the Ninth Council has. They arrived with the Archon and tore up the upstairs library, something fierce. Luckily for us, Dawn was able to hide some of what was written in the manuscripts, so not all things were taken, but they have taken 3 manuscripts that are needed for us to copy into the Varkalok. And it will be Rosalia again who will say, they have taken the Marhinen's Apis, the Kodavska Naka, and the 𝐒𝐲𝐤𝐿𝐵𝐿. These documents are crucial for the Varkalok's creation, and now the Ninth plans to burn them at the celebration of the Parandon tomorrow.
I assume you have a plan.
I thought the Parandon was in 2 days. Because the solstice is in 3, and then they're attacking in 4.
I don't know anymore. I've lost all count of days. You guys have tomorrow to prepare, so the day after tomorrow. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
In 2 days.
So we'll just edit that part in there, and then we'll just have it voiced over in 2 days.
I assume you have a plan.
Well, this is where we need your expertise, to be honest, Dawn. We need your skills to craft convincing fakes, and then we need to be able to infiltrate the ceremony or find some other means to be able to replace them so they end up burning the fakes and not the true documents.
You want me to create 3 fake books in a day.
Oh, they're not full books. These are manuscripts, so they're single documents or scrolls that are pulled together and wrapped up. And she'll say, it's not as though they'll be reading them, or they'll be looking too closely at them. They just need to appear to be as similar as possible for us to be able to take and make some sort of replacement with them.
Do I have an eidetic memory?
You do not have an eidetic memory. We are skilled in 𝐾𝐨𝐴. It's our hope that you will be able to find a way to amend this.
So your plan is to have me come up with a plan. Okay. Sounds
It's our hope that there'll be a replacement that'll be seamless. That you'll be able to craft some replicas, infiltrate the ceremony, swap these out before the others are burned.
And what assistance are you providing to aid us in doing these things?
Tell us what assistance you need, Dragoslav will say, stroking his beard, and we will offer what we can.
A plan for how it can be done. When is a good time to do this? When would they not be watching the manuscripts? What are the details of the manuscripts that I need to know to make sure that they're convincing?
We will be happy to provide you with all the details for the manuscripts as we can. We know that they plan to hold this celebration at their temple outside of the city walls, where they plan on having a large bonfire, and I imagine among the 9 that are with the council, 3 of them will be holding these. It's going to be a task of using 𝐃𝐨𝐧'𝐭 in whatever way that you can to be able to swap them while they're under drink or celebration, or distracted in some way, a sleight of hand perhaps, to be able to replace them, so they end up burning the wrong ones and we can then come back with the right ones.
How long will it take you to craft the 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐞 once you have all the needed materials?
Once we have all the materials, it could be days, perhaps a week.
Does it matter if they know whether or not they've been replaced? I mean, if I just go in and take the manuscripts, what are they going to do? Search every home in 𝐿eircheim trying to find them?
Perhaps not. We are just hoping not to lose the faith of what worshippers of Mahina remain within the city.
And that would be lost if they don't have the manuscripts.
No, it's just if we end up causing some sort of strife between us and the 9th, it could cause a civil war within the city, which is not something that we can afford to handle right now with the potential assault by the Vucari.
They can afford to do it by raiding the library and stealing the manuscripts to burn them. They have no regard for the half of the population that no longer worships or does not want to give up their worship of Mahina. So why do we have to handle them with child gloves if they are not willing to do the same? They've already declared war on our beliefs.
My son, we are outnumbered and outmatched by them, and they have the support of the Archon within the city. I'm not sure that there is an answer that will satisfy you, outside that we want to assure that whatever we can for our children and the future of our people remains. As we said when we initially met, it is our duty to not only protect the future for those that worship Mahina, but also to protect the citizens that grant us power.
Sir Mihail.
Oh, go ahead.
Sir Mihail, I believe we need to find out if your uncle has received his information. The timing on this could not be worse.
I agree.
And I believe it was intended.
It is rather inconspicuous. Or no, coincidental that they did this as we were out of the city. And as soon as we find out that the day after the solstice, they will be attacking.
Which is much to my point. They're doing these things when we can least afford to handle it. When the city is
just so everyone knows,
prepared.
No one on the council here has heard this information. And I just dropped that to 𝐸rchon in the middle of the meeting.
They don't seem
Do they respond at all?
No, they don't seem to mind.
No, they don't care.
I'm processing.
Council members.
What? I mean, it'll be Dorfe. He'll be like, I don't understand, son. What is it that you're saying exactly? Do you know that the Vucari are attacking in 3 days' time? Or is it 4 days now? I don't even know.
It's 4 days.
4 days' time.
The Vucari.
It's like 1 day at this point.
The Vucari are attacking on 2 fronts in 4 days. the day after the solstice. That much we know. And we know they're in league with the dragons. They're in the dragons' lairs. This is... The 𝐴𝐸 did this on purpose. The 𝐴𝐸 did this, as Don so pointed out, to put us up against the wall. We can't... How we're going to do this underhandedly, I don't think there's a way.
It'll be Serena that contemplates over what you all are saying the most. She goes, we cannot allow ourselves to be beaten in this way. They may have the upper hand, but we have to find a way forward. We can't just give up.
Can we press the 𝐴𝐸 in public? And the council?
To what end? To what end do we press them in public about this? Accusations are to be made. They have every right to come in and take our documents and burn them with the rise of the ninth. They see our literature as being sacrilege to the new religion that is taking its place.
If these documents were so important for the Varkalok, why did you allow them to reside where they could be easily taken?
We had them hidden upstairs. Go and take a look for yourself, Don. It's been ransacked and they found them.
Right.
The son that was basically switched sides, what was his name?
It is Jeronim. Jeronim.
I know 𝐤𝐸𝐤𝐿 now follows their ways. But surely he's not as blind as the rest. He's proved that in the tavern. Could he help
But he
us?
still followed their lead.
It's true.
He was always a bit gullible. No offense.
It is true that my son is
Who are you
gullible.
offending?
His mom, who sits on the council.
Yeah.
My son will not listen to me. He's cut off contact, only listening to those that he perceives to be his betters. But maybe with the connection that you all have had, he'd be willing to help. Maybe even find a way to swap these out.
I don't know what approach we could take that would guarantee anything. It seems very dangerous.
Well, okay.
Do have
You have-
𝐴𝐸𝐤 here.
Well, you have scrolls already that you need. So what if you just copy one of those like 3 times, because they're not really going to know the difference, and that way it'll save you time from having to make it up. And then there we have that done. You work on that, and tomorrow we can try to figure out how to get it swapped out and see who we can work on or whatever we need to. Maybe we give it to this Jerem guy and have him tell him he can say he found new scrolls or something, and so he's excited, and we use that as an advantage to get the other scrolls out. I don't know.
Dorfe is going to hum to himself as Aramir finishes speaking and be like, I really appreciate the Ispalini and their intellect. It could be so that you convinced Jeronim that what was taken was the fakes, and you're providing him the real ones in a term of goodwill, and have him return the fakes to you and give him the true fakes.
I cannot imagine that they would they would look at the originals and whatever I come up with for a fake, and the next day would suffice to convince them that the originals are fakes.
Why would they not just burn the whole lot of them?
Burn the whole
Whatever we
lots,
give
or
them,
compare them. I mean, looking at the two of them side by side would reveal how fake they are.
You're not confident in your skills, Don?
I'm not confident in my skills to do this in 24 hours.
Well,
Does your daughter like to draw?
For all that it matters, we might as well let Mead create all of the scrolls for us and try and pass them off as fakes with the time allotted. These are carefully constructed manuscripts that have existed for a long period of time. They're aged. They have the marks and the wear of time, of reading, of hands that have touched them throughout centuries. There's no possible way to make them look exactly as the originals do.
They may not. but there are more than one Amarius within our temple that can help you in this task, and you may be able to use 𝐾𝐨𝐲 to age these with your profane magic. It will be costly, but it may be worth the price to have them look as close as possible. I understand that creating a forgery in a short period of time is nearly impossible, but we are functioning in the days where the impossible must be made possible if we are to succeed, if we're to survive, if Marhina is not to be completely erased from our history.
I'm willing to do my part, and I will do what I can. I was just hoping that the council would have a little bit more to offer than simply passing the responsibility on to me.
Well, we see you as being the most skilled of all of those Armariuses that we have here within the temple. And to be honest, this has only happened in the last hour. We've been sitting here debating on the best path forward. We may have more of an idea of how to proceed as morning comes.
Well, I'm glad that I managed to float to the top of that pile.
I'm just going to say it. Sometimes turds float.
Don, I think you need a beer and some rest, my friend.
It's been a long day.
It's... yeah. Green dragons will do that.
I'll look back at the council. You know, I died today.
And at the same hand, 𝐸𝐶𝐻 is definitely upplaying what took place. There was no killing of any dragon.
Yeah, but they don't know that.
I got one pretty good, though.
You know I died today. At you mentioning that you died today, your mother is going to be aghast.
Hey, isn't she supposed to be watching his daughter?
What's she doing here? It's the middle of the night.
Nina's sleeping in her bed, my son, with my servants.
Why is she sleeping in a bed with grown men?
My servants aren't men, son. But she will be taken aback at the thought of you dying or becoming near to death today. I mean, she's lost her husband, lost her daughter-in-law, your wife. So she is very concerned at this. If this is too dangerous for you, Need cannot afford to lose her father.
Then why do you keep sending me on?
So why'd you send your only son to kill a dragon?
What? Sending out? You've gone out once! One time!
I said that. Why did you send me out?
Because you're one of the most capable of us, Don.
Well, you can't have it both ways.
Jesus.
Someone likes staring at their cake while they eat.
Oh my gosh.
At some point, we're going to kill a dragon.
Maybe.
No, the next one's
They only get bigger from here. I don't think we're getting far.
I was gonna say they're only gonna get bigger.
We're maxing out at level 6.
You are.
Level 2, we can't even handle a tiny dragon.
Well, to be fair, we didn't go after the tiny one.
Yeah.
We didn't.
Yeah.
We went after the dragon that was 4 times as strong.
We would have had it too if you would have hit your axe attacks.
Would have had it if it wasn't for those meddlesome kids.
Yeah. Oh man.
All right.
All right.
We'll do what we can. Come up with another plan, please.
Or any plan. That would be great.
I'll
in which you assist us in helpful and meaningful ways. That would all be fantastic.
We would be happy to assist, but if you do choose to infiltrate the celebration at the Temple of Warlos, that we cannot attend. As fulfilling the seats in the Carrion Council, we cannot be seen at their temple, but anything that we can do here, we will.
Would it not look bad for us to show up at their temple, given our connection to you?
It very well could look bad for us, just as it has for, gosh darn it, just as it has for Serena's son joining them. But perhaps for them it will look to be a movement in the right direction to see all the rest of our children attend their celebration in good faith and think that they are winning you over.
Yes, but that also means that we'll be given a lot of undue attention.
perhaps so, but perhaps you're able to volunteer to throw these scrolls in the fire and throw in the one that is not the true one.
How close is 𝐦𝐤𝐤 to the Ninth Council?
You know that he has shifted with the Archon in the worship of Volos, but in terms of his actual association with anyone on the Ninth, you don't know that he's too close. He's closer to the Archon.
Okay.
Joshua, am I aware of any manuscripts in the library which I have already copied over, but would be of value due to their content to the Ninth Council?
I would say yes, you would.
So, it might be possible that we ingratiate ourselves by bringing one of those that I've already copied and saying, well, you're burning those, we should burn this one as well, and go forward with that plan of, we're here to help you, we're willing to help burn them, and do the swap-rooney. That might be our best bet.
Can't you use like the?
Go ahead.
Can't you use like void magic and like like when you throw a dagger, then you can use it to call it back? That.
So you want me to just like levitate 3 scrolls in the middle of a festival out of 3 people's hands?
I'm just saying if you get close enough that you could do that. I don't know how you do it. I didn't know if I thought did it levitate back or did it just like disappear and reappear in your hand?
Well,
I don't think I'm strong enough to just make it disappear and reappear.
I think
maybe you should get stronger.
But I think Mayhail is integral to this because if the scrolls are like laid out on a table, for instance, you can cast illusion magic to hide them, conceal them, otherwise make them invisible.
Right.
And we can replace them, so we don't even necessarily need to move them at that moment. We just need to make them hidden long enough to where we can put new scrolls down.
Right, which is why I brought up 𝐦𝐤𝐤. Because if he's close to the Archon, he might be doing security for the festival and for that event of the burnings. I might be able to ingratiate myself and possibly 1 or 2 of us into the guard to get us as close as possible to where they're keeping the scrolls.
Yeah.
Well, and with the increased threat of the Bukari, I mean, who's to say they couldn't possibly get here earlier or something, and maybe there needs to be an increased security presence.
Yeah.
Like, I plan on seeing 𝐦𝐤𝐤 in the morning, because given the letter that I sent, defenses should be starting come tomorrow.
Yeah.
Preparations for a siege and such.
Yeah.
Now, we wouldn't want their ceremony to be disrupted or have any issues.
Which I think, honestly, would be the most beneficial thing that maybe the Carrion Council can do. The Carrion Council could do was to create some kind of distraction to make people think that the Bukari were attacking at some point in the next day or 2 that allow us access because other people will not be watching us.
I feel like Mayhail is going to reject that idea. Causing undue panic in the city is just going to cause harm to the civilians and put more work on our soldiers before an actual attack. I don't think causing a panic of a random attack that doesn't exist is a very good idea. Like, I like the idea of a distraction, but a Bukari attack seems poor timing.
And so ideologies collide among all of you four as you guys try to figure out the best way forward to balance all the new threats and old threats that are coming to your doorstep. We will pick this up again next week for episode 3. So thank you guys all for hanging out with us here on Dungeon Brew. We hope that you enjoyed this episode of the 9th Ascension. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We will see you guys all next time.
In the realm of Eonar, nestled within the expansive tapestry of thrice 9 lands, the Gilded Age is coming to an end. in the coastal city of the Llă'ărăieni, ageless 𝐷𝐢ans, devout to the frozen witch, harness the power to wield the same energy that stitches together reality. Yet winds of change whisper the name of Volos, the Horned God. The Ninth Council rises, and our heroes, staunch Carian loyalists, embark on expeditions to safeguard 𝐷𝐢an history while defending against their wicked enemies. The celestial dance of Margina's worshippers is disrupted by the growing shadow of Volos, and the imminent clash between the Carian and Ninth Councils threatens to reshape the very fabric of Eonar. Amidst this turmoil, our heroes navigate treacherous landscapes, from the frozen wastes where dragons roam to the hidden conclaves of the bloodthirsty skin switches. Each expedition reveals fragments of a forgotten past, hidden truths, and the intricate connections between 𝐷𝐢an magic and the divine realms. As the 𝐷𝐢ans grapple with the choice between allegiance to Margina or Volos, loyalty becomes a precious commodity. Our Carian heroes, entrusted with preserving 𝐷𝐢an heritage, face moral dilemmas, forge unlikely alliances, and confront the shadows that lurk within their own ranks. The world of Eonar awaits, a canvas painted with hues of enchantment and conflict. Will our heroes unravel the secrets that bind thrice 9 lands, or will they succumb to the inevitable tide of a revolution? Brace yourself for an epic, episodic tale, where every choice resonates across the realms, shaping the destiny of Eonar itself.